When I was a kid, only two horror films scared me: Night of the Living Dead and Blacula. So today we're going to talk about the glam and the fashion of Blacula. Welcome to Gory Glam Tuesday. Last week was very well received. Thank you so much for all the views and for your warm comments. This week we're going to talk about Blacula. As I said at the beginning of the video, only two films that scared me as a kid, and this was one of them. I can remember, like, clear as day, I was on a three-way call with my two best friends from third grade. This was probably about 2000, and my friend was like, hey, there's a cool film on BET, check it out. And I turned it on, watched for a little bit, and there was a huge jump scare. I remember throwing my arms up in the air, and I'm like, I can't watch it anymore. Oh my gosh, this is terrible. This is scary. So, needless to say, probably a year or two later, I actually found the movie on VHS, and I was brave enough to watch it. And ever since then, it's been a favorite of mine. This movie was released in 1972, so the height of the disco era. There were bell-bottoms, afros. There was nightclub dancing, just all the amazing things from that era. What I really love about movies from the 1970s, or any really older movies, is they're true to the fashion at that time. You know, now we have movies that do flashbacks to the 50s, 60s, 70s, but the fashions are really gaudy, like what we perceive they wore back then. But when you actually watch movies from their respective eras, you get to see what the fashion was truly. Like, it's not oversaturated, if you know what I mean. I think sometimes we tend to think, oh, this is what everyone wore in the 1970s. Everybody had flowery prints and bell-bottoms, and everybody was a hippie or a disco dancer or a roller skater. No, that's not exactly what it is. People had normal fashions just like we do now. So it kind of makes me curious to think of what movies 30 years from now are going to perceive fashions from our era right now. Kind of scary to think about. Let's hop right into it and talk about the movie a little bit. I'll try not to spoil anything. Then we'll jump into the fashion, special effects, and glam of this movie, and it's chock full of it. So the premise of the movie is about a prince from Africa named Mama Waldy and his wife Luva going to Europe to protest the slave trade to none other than Count Dracula. Now things do not go well at all, and Luva ends up dead, and Mama Waldy ends up becoming Blacula, and he's sealed in a coffin for many, many years until actually two gay characters come and they buy everything in Dracula's castle, transport it back to LA. Now, the gay characters, there's a lot of slurs in this movie toward the gay characters. I can excuse it just because it's a product of its time, but the fact that there were two out gay men in a movie in the early 1970s, it is really cool to see. They have, of course, the best fashions in the movie, and they actually get into a little squirrel with Dracula. Doesn't end up good for them. So, this movie takes place in the present day, 1972. Dracula goes to a funeral home. I won't say why. I don't want to spoil too much. I'm not good at this. Dracula ends up at a funeral home, and he sees a woman who looks strikingly like his late wife, Luva. So it's about him pursuing this woman, and then his battle between his humanity and being a vampire, and he ends up biting people and creating a whole mob of, I was going to say zombies, a whole mob of vampires in his pursuit for his long-lost love. Now, the man playing Blacula is none other than William Marshall. He is an amazing actor who sadly left us way too soon. I would have liked to have seen him in other roles, or maybe reprise his role as Blacula. There is a sequel to this movie starring William Marshall and Pam Grier, but I don't think it adds up to the amount of hype that the original did. So let's hop right into it, shall we? So first, I want to show you Luva herself, played by Vonetta McGee. This first image I got from Getty Images. I don't know who he is, but he's very popular. It's kind of, I base my look off of her today. I love the eyebrows and that huge, like, gaudy wing that she has. Her earrings are fabulous. The entire outfit is just chock full of vibrant colors. And she looks so regal and demure. I fell in love with this character. It's sad that we only got to see her in the opening, like, 5 minutes of the movie. Her makeup is actually really intricate for a 1970s movie. Whenever I watch these movies, it's like the actresses have very downplayed makeup, very natural. This has a huge, like I said, huge wing. She's got blue eyeshadow. The eyebrows are almost like Mr. Spock from Star Trek. She's got a really nice peachy pink matte lipstick. I don't know if matte was very popular back then, but I'm assuming it. I don't know. I hardly see it. Of course, you hardly see, like, HD pictures of actresses in makeup from that era. There's a lot of different colors going on in her outfit. We have blues, whites, reds, orange, purple, basically every color you can think of, and I really like it. I don't know who the costume designer was or the makeup artist on this movie was, but they did an amazing job with this character. It's literally like they're like, put everything into this character that's going to be in this movie for like 5 minutes. It's fine. It was definitely, I feel it was almost a wasted character because, you know, for the short time that we see her, it's not enough. Oh, and I love the glove. I just noticed that too. She has like before it was popular, she started a trend with them, the rings that, you know what I'm talking about. I don't know how to describe them. The ring cuffs. I want them hoops. I really want those hoops. Now here is Vonetta McGee as Tina, which is the reincarnated version of Luva. Here she has more downplayed makeup. It's very natural. She really doesn't need makeup. She was a gorgeous woman. She unfortunately passed away. I really love the headdress that she's wearing in this picture. And like I said, you know, nowadays if you were to make this movie, everybody would be in some like elaborate 1970s fashion. Here you're getting to see what fashion was really like back then. I like that about this movie. Even though they are a little bit different looking, maybe a little bit wild, it's what they wore back then. It's nothing over exaggerated. Here's another picture of Tina with her sister Michelle and Michelle's boyfriend, Dr. Thomas. I love the kimono that Tina's wearing. She has a little bit of natural glam makeup on, but nothing over exaggerated. I like the print on this kimono. I don't know, like I said, maybe these are the actors' actual outfits. I don't know. There's very little info about it, but it's really neat. Even Michelle's nightwear is actually kind of modern. The bold red with a little bit of a design. I could see a woman now wearing that to bed. And of course, I have to mention the afros. Everybody in my dad's side of the family had an afro back in the 70s, so I'm feeling it. I feel like this could be my family back then. I'm loving Michelle's afro. That is a real, like, when I picture an actual 1970s afro, that's what I picture. I don't picture, like, the huge, like, embellished ones that we perceive nowadays. I know I keep going back to that fact, but it's, oh my gosh, it's just something that annoys me about today movies. But back to this movie. Of course, we have Dr. Thomas, who is, like, the smartest one in the movie, the first one to figure out that Mama Waldy is a Blacula, a vampire. He's got a little bit of an afro going on with the sideburns and that heavy 1970s mustache. So now we're going to talk about the man himself. We have Blacula. I'm going to pull up a picture here. This is the entire main cast. We've got Tina, Dr. Thomas, we've got Michelle, and we've got Blacula when he's not mad. It's just a very handsome, regal gentleman. He's got an odd fashion. They even mention, one of the characters mentions his cape being a little bit different. But yeah, he wears the cape the entire time. Just a very well-dressed, dapper dude. But then when Blacula's hungry and he wants to bite someone, he changes into this. This is a close-up, and I'm excited to talk about this. This is very interesting makeup. Most of the time when I watch older movies about vampires, the only transformation are the teeth, really. But this is one of the first vampire transformations where there's actually a drastic change in the face. He's got thick, bushy eyebrows, a little bit of black eyeshadow around the eyes. It kind of deepens the crease to make him look a little bit more sunken in. He's got the huge, like, sideburns that turn into almost like a beardish thing. I don't know. My parents refer to it as muck chops. I don't know what that means, but I guess that's what it is. And I think his mustache even gets thicker, if you ask me. And he's got like this widow's peak thing going on. So yeah, he goes through a little bit of a transformation, almost like the Wolfman. Here's another picture of him biting an unfortunate victim. Let's talk about her fashion real quick and then go back to Blacula. She's a little waitress at a bar, and this is the outfit that she wears. It's kind of like a Playboy bunny. Unfortunately, she doesn't have her wristbands that she wears in the movie, but it's a cute outfit. I like how detailed it is, and it's like a little cocktail outfit for a cutesy little waitress. Back to Blacula, though. In this picture, you can really tell that they added a little bit of gray makeup. You notice that on a lot of the vampires in this movie. Not so much Blacula, because I think they wanted to set him apart from the other vampires. However, you can see where they put a little bit of like a grayish pale foundation on him, and they accented his contours with maybe like a gray or black eyeshadow. You see it on the forehead, around the eyes, the cheekbones where there's not hair. Here's a black and white photo that never happened in the movie. So I wonder if there are deleted scenes that we probably will never see. Here he's biting a woman. We don't know who it is. But you get another close-up of the face and that cool widow's peak that he has going on. This is Blacula right after his tussle with Billy and Bobby, the two gay characters. Obviously you can tell he's bit him. So, yeah, you just see, I don't know, you get a better view of the eyebrows. That looks like it's uncomfortable to me. I just wonder how long it took to glue all that hair on and how comfortable it was for William Marshall to walk around with not only the pancake makeup, but all this bushy wild hair on his face. Not to spoil the ending, but this is the end result of Blacula after he's walked into the sun. And this is super gross. You can tell it's a doll. There's melting skin coming off of it. And there's maggots and worms coming out. Every orifices. It's a nasty sight. I just wanted to add that in there because it was a cool special effect that happens at the end of the movie. Let's hop into a few of the vampires from this movie. First, we're going to look at a picture. This is where another part of the movie where I get totally scared. Trying to watch it for the second time as a kid, I got super frightened during this scene because, up until this point, there were a few vampires. Mainly just Blacula, but then all of a sudden there's a warehouse full of vampires. You get to see the makeup that they put on them. They're bluish gray. They remind me a lot of the Dawn of the Dead work that Tom Savini did on those zombies. It's kind of like a characterized version of a vampire. Like I said, the bluish skin making them look a little bit dead. The teeth, they did a lot of contour. You can see the guy in the back has some cheek contour and some laugh line contour. Here's another vampire. She is looking super fierce. I like the pencil thin eyebrows. She has a little bit of like maroon eyeshadow under the eye. She's glam. And a nice like purpley lipstick to accent those sharp vampire teeth. Here's one of the vampires that doesn't have much in the way of makeup. However, I wonder if they put contacts on her because her eyes are dingy yellow. So, she has a little bit of blood on the teeth. You can tell she's got the false vampire teeth going on. Crazy hair. They did a little bit on her eyebrows, but they didn't really do much detail onto her. I just kind of wonder why they didn't do the blue face paint on this one. And last, we have Billy when he's a vampire. That's a lot of pancake on makeup. A lot. I'm sorry, but makeup from movies back then just looks totally uncomfortable. You can tell this was some thick, pore clogging makeup on these actors. But I do like the effect. It's patchy, but it works. We've got gray and blue tones going on, and they've done some work to his eyebrows for sure. Those teeth, which look super uncomfortable. So I imagine they probably didn't have many vampires in this movie just because of that fact. Their screen time is very short. So in conclusion, I really like reviewing the makeup and fashion from this movie. There's a lot to talk about today. So yeah, go ahead and check out this movie if you ever get a chance. Hope you guys are enjoying this series of videos as much as I am enjoying reviewing them and all this kind of stuff. I hope you like my new camera. I figured out that the back camera on my phone is a lot better than the front camera. So we're going to be using back camera from now on. Hopefully I actually got myself and I'm not like all the way over here where you can't see me. Thank you guys for joining me on this Tuesday, this special Tuesday. I heard there's a holiday going on. It isn't Halloween, so yeah. Stop back next week when I'll have another Gory Glam Tuesday and a new scary movie to review. You can also check out my other videos. I Can't Make It Up Fridays are up every Friday, and Superstar Glam Sundays, where I review the glam and the attires and the fashion of the WWE superstars, is up every Sunday. I also have little tidbits in between, one of them being Throwback Superstar Glam Thursdays, where we look at WWE superstars from years past. We talk about their fashions and glams that have contributed to the now fashions and glams of these superstars. So there's always new content going up on my channel, and every day I have content going up on my Instagram, so go ahead and give that a follow, and I'll follow you back. Make me famous, y'all. I'm having fun doing these videos. Who knows where it'll go. But right now, I thank you all for your support and watching, and as always, I love you guys very much, and I will see you soon.